Here's some good stuff for you. Read My Lips introduces the ventriloquist and his dummy Scarface into the series. The distinctive execution of this episode makes it more than worthy of discussion. A new gang has recently been scoring big by robbing several high-profile institutions in Gotham. The thefts are reported to be well coordinated, and there's little to no evidence betraying the identities of the perpetrators. However, Commissioner Gordon comes into possession of a videotape depicting the thieves running from their last robbery. He gives it to Batman in hopes of the Dark Knight turning something up that the police couldn't. It turns out, Batman is able to cross-reference a tattoo on one of the gang members as he fled the latest scene. The Caped Crusader confronts the culprit, Charles Rhino Daly, and ends up tailing him to his boss's hideout. Batman is surprised to discover that the leader of the successful criminal group is a mentally disturbed ventriloquist named Arnold Wesker. But upon closer inspection, it seems that Wesker's dummy, Scarface, is the real one calling the shots. Batman begins to unravel this new criminal outfit while attempting to decipher who the real dummy is. The prolific Boyd Kirkland directed a script written by Joe R. Lansdale. Those two alone would be enough behind-the-scenes star power to make this a classic, but the story for the episode was laid out by producer Alan Burnett and series story editor Michael Reeves. In the audio commentary, Reeves mentions this is one of his personal favorites. Lansdale, Reeves, and Kirkland previously teamed up on my favorite episode of the series, Perchance to Dream. Needless to say, I was going to like Read My Lips. Lansdale only wrote one more teleplay in the form of the Jonah Hex story Showdown, and we'll get to talking about that installment of the show at the end of this year's Batmay coverage. TMS was behind the animation here, and it's pretty apparent. It's not the best looking episode they were responsible for, but there's a certain level of quality to these TMS installments that always showed off a strong effort. The studio's reputation precedes itself, though. You don't need me to tell you that. Shirley Walker did the music herself. There's a strong jazz influence that we heard before and would hear again, but it's appropriate for the aesthetic of Read My Lips. I especially liked when the Batman theme was played in this style. Walker mentioned in the commentary track that some of this score was also a little bit of an homage to the Adam West Batman show. Credit needs to be given to the voice cast here. Of course, all the regulars are great as usual, but there are a few other standouts. Earl Bowen is a pretty well-known actor for on-screen roles in movies like The Terminator and such, but he had a big voice acting career in some other recognizable projects. Here, he makes one of two appearances as Scarface's heavy, Rhino.
He's just tired, irritable. He's really a genius, Scarface is.
Most impressive, though, is George Zunza. He voiced both the ventriloquist and Scarface, showing off a wide range in his line readings.
Hey, who's making all the racket? That you, dummy? Oh no, don't let him find me with you.
It's just a nice detail to learn that both voices are actually done by the same guy, adding some authenticity to the performance and character. Zunza played a few other roles across the DCAU, including the similar-sounding G. Carl Francis from the seminal installment The Laughing Fish.
He's crazy.
As explained in the audio commentary, series co-creator Bruce Timm recalls having some pushback from DC Comics about the ventriloquist Scarface portrayal.
Now, we did actually have a debate with DC Comics about Scarface, because the gag in the comics is that the ventriloquist himself is not a very good ventriloquist, and he sounds as if he's talking with his mouth closed.
Yeah, he can't pronounce the labials.
He can't. We didn't really kind of want to do that. We just thought it would be a little bit intrusive. So we thought it would really hamper George's performance.
The relationship between the ventriloquist and Scarface in the comics is quite different. I mean, the ventriloquist really doesn't like Scarface that much.
Personally, I liked the almost supernatural way Scarface is pulled off here. And the tone BTAS lived in, Wesker being an amazing ventriloquist works better than portraying him as a bad one. The multiple personality syndrome disorder they used to explain the two personas in one body was believable enough to get by, too.
Two personalities in one brain, completely separate. Neither one knows what the other is thinking.
Spoilers ahead for the climax and ending. Batman is lured into a trap when he outsmarts Scarface by turning his two personalities against each other. Eventually, Bats escapes his predicament, the dummy is accidentally shot up by a machine gun, and Wesker is sent to Arkham. The finishing scene at the asylum is possibly the best thing about the whole episode.
The medication has helped him immensely. His other personality seems to have totally submerged.
That's very good work.
Thank you.
Great dark ending there. I loved how they teased more stories with the character, and the image of the ventriloquist scarring a new Scarface facade is a striking one. Read My Lips is a definite recommendation from yours truly. It has great writing, animation, voice acting, and more. Some other tidbits I liked were the newspaper montage mentioning a Gotham Square Garden recently shown in The Batman, Batman's detective work, and Bruce's old skills he learned under Zatara coming into play to defeat his latest enemy.
You're going up the river, Sawdust, for brains?
Why, I oughta...
You may not be able to read my lips, but listen to these words. Check this one out where and when you can.
I didn't say that. My lips didn't move.
So what? You're a ventriloquist!